Have you ever stopped to consider the significance of symbols in our daily lives? They are everywhere, aren't they? Just think about it. We use symbols to express emotions, convey messages, and even identify ourselves. Emojis, for instance, have become a universal language, allowing us to express our feelings with a simple picture. But this isn't a modern invention. Our ancestors were using symbols to communicate long before we ever thought to send a heart emoji. Let's travel back in time to the Viking Age, a period spanning roughly from the mid-7th to the early 11th century. During this time, symbols were deeply woven into the fabric of everyday life. They adorned houses, ships, jewelry, and even their bodies, but these were not mere decorations. Each one held a meaning, a purpose, a story. The Vikings, seafaring warriors and traders from Scandinavia, were particularly fond of symbols. They used them to express abstract concepts, mundane realities, and everything in between. These symbols were connected to their daily life, their beliefs, and their understanding of the universe. They served as reminders of their identity, their values, and their faith. They were a language, a form of communication that transcended words. For the Vikings, symbols could also serve a protective function. They believed that certain symbols could shield them from harm, ward off evil spirits, or bestow upon them strength and courage. One such symbol was Thor's Hammer, an amulet believed to offer protection to its wearer, a concept we'll delve into in the next scene. Symbols were more than just drawings or carvings to the Vikings. They were an integral part of their worldview, a way to navigate the seen and unseen realities of their world. They were a bridge between the ordinary and the extraordinary, the mundane and the mystical. So let's delve into the fascinating world of Viking symbols, starting with the most commonly used. The most popular Viking symbol was likely Thor's Hammer, an amulet believed to provide protection and strength. This iconic emblem, a replica of the mighty Mjolnir from Norse mythology, was more than a symbol, it was a statement. When a Viking donned an amulet of Thor's hammer, they were invoking the strength and protection of Thor himself, the god renowned for safeguarding the world from chaotic giants. These amulets were crafted from a variety of materials: silver, lead, iron, amber, bronze, or even gold. Interestingly, the prevalence of Thor's hammer amulets seemed to grow in the 9th century, around the same time that the first Christian Vikings began wearing cross pendants. This has led some historians to suggest that the popularity of Thor's hammer may have been a reaction to the advent of Christianity, a way for the Vikings to assert their loyalty to their old faith. Next, we turn our attention to a symbol representing the cycle of life and the universe's interconnectedness. The tree Igdrasil, standing tall in the god's abode Asgard, symbolized the cycle of life and the universe's interconnectedness. In the heart of Norse mythology, Igdrasil, an immense ash tree, connected 9 different worlds, weaving them into one cosmic tapestry. The name Igdrasil, translating to Horse of Odin, tells a tale of the god Odin, who hung from the world tree for 9 nights and 9 days, a sacrifice to himself for the pursuit of wisdom. Around this tree, a cast of mythical creatures played out their roles. The gods convened at the Well of Urd under one of the tree's roots. A dragon named Nidhogg dwelled under another, and an eagle, Rasvelg, perched atop the crown. A squirrel, Ratatosk, scampered up and down the trunk, keeping the lines of communication open between the dragon and the eagle. Depictions of Igdrasil from the Viking Age itself are incredibly rare, making each one a precious window into the Vikings' worldview. From the Tree of Life, we move on to a symbol associated with the god of bards. A figure made up of 3 spirals or legs, the Trisal, was associated with Odin, the god of bards. The term Trisal has its roots in the Greek word triskos, which means 3-legged. This symbol, with its 3 spiraling arms radiating from a central point, held significant meaning in Viking culture. Odin, the Allfather, the god of poetry and wisdom, was often linked with the Trisal. This association is fitting, as the Trisal's spirals can be viewed as a representation of the continuous flow of knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration that Odin provided to the Viking bards. The Trisal is not merely a symbol, but a visual metaphor for the intertwining concepts of creation, preservation, and destruction, which are all part of the poetic process. In the Viking world, this symbol was more than just an artistic ornament. It was a representation of their beliefs, their values, and the gods they revered. Now, let's explore some misunderstood or dubious modern applications of Viking symbolism. While Viking symbols have a rich history, their meanings are often misunderstood or misused today. A prime example of this is the sun cross, or swastika. This symbol, which was used by many ancient cultures, including the Vikings, was unfortunately appropriated in the early 20th century by the Nazis. The swastika was a symbol of well-being and luck in the Viking culture. But today, due to its association with Nazism, it is often misunderstood and misused, causing confusion and controversy. Another common misconception revolves around the Viking runes. The elder and younger Futhark, as they're known, were alphabets used in written communication. However, in the modern era, runes are often seen as mystical symbols with magical properties, used in divination and fortune-telling. This is quite a departure from their original purpose, which was primarily for everyday communication, much like our modern alphabet. Moreover, it's important to mention the dubious modern applications of Viking symbolism. Some symbols, such as the Valknut, have been co-opted by various modern groups, often with little understanding of their original meanings. The Valknut, associated with Odin, the All-Father of the gods in Norse mythology, has been adopted by neo-pagan groups and is often seen in popular culture, sometimes in contexts that have little to do with its historical significance. The misuse and misunderstanding of these symbols don't just distort our view of the Vikings and their culture. They also detract from the rich symbolism that the Vikings developed to express their beliefs, values, and worldview. The Vikings used these symbols to communicate complex ideas, from the cycle of life represented by the Igdrasil to the protection and strength symbolized by Thor's hammer. In understanding the symbols of the Vikings, we gain a richer understanding of their culture, beliefs, and worldview. So, let us respect these symbols, delve deeper into their meanings, and appreciate the sophisticated and nuanced culture from which they originated. As we have seen, Viking symbols were deeply embedded in their culture, representing everything from protection to the cycle of life. These symbols, like Thor's hammer, served as amulets offering strength and warding off evil. They were not just objects of art, but deeply ingrained in everyday life and even the architecture of buildings and shields. The Igdrasil, or the Tree of Life, symbolized the interconnectedness of the universe and the cycle of life, connecting 9 different worlds. Meanwhile, the Trisal, a 3-legged symbol, represented Odin, the god of bards. However, it's important to remember that many modern interpretations of these symbols are misconceptions, often influenced by modern cultural and political factors. In truth, Viking symbols were a complex and rich visual language that told stories, expressed beliefs, and offered protection. And with that, we've unraveled some of the hidden meanings behind the symbols of the Vikings, a visual language as rich and complex as any we use today.